Hi, everyone. We'll give a minute or two for people to join. So if you haven't already, go grab a glass of water or whatever your favorite beverage is, and then we'll get started. Okay, some people are still coming in. We'll get started in about a minute. All right. So again, hello, everyone, and welcome to this webinar titled Protect Your Margins, How to Boost Your VPS Offerings This Black Friday. It's a very timely topic, as I'm sure you're all busy with Black Friday preparations already. We'll be hearing from three CloudLinux speakers today: Liliana Quesada, our Growth Marketing Manager, Strahan Terblanche, our Sales Engineer, and myself, Akash Waida, from Product Marketing. A couple of housekeeping items before we dive into the main topic. The webinar is being recorded, and we'll share the link to the video in the follow-up email after the webinar. During the session, if you have any questions, please use the QA functionality of Zoom. It's in the main QA or Zoom control panel. You'll need to look for a QA button, type in your question there, and there will be a dedicated QA section at the end where we'll be answering these questions. On today's webinar, we'll cover positioning your VPS offerings during Black Friday and other seasonal campaigns, how the CloudLinux VPS bundle specifically can help you protect your margins, a live demo of CloudLinux OS and Immunify 360 in action, and as I said, we're going to close things off with QA. Okay, now to kick things off, we'd like to understand you a bit better, everyone who joined this webinar today, and we have prepared a poll question for that. So Alison, if you could please bring up the poll. There you have it. You should see a pop-up window on your screen. So the poll question is, what is the single biggest challenge you face in growing your managed VPS or dedicated servers? And some of the answer options, you might see that multiple would apply. Think about which one is the biggest challenge for you. Is it ensuring consistent performance and uptime? Is it competing on price with unmanaged cloud providers like DigitalOcean or Vultr? Is it managing security and DDoS attacks? Is it the operational complexity of provisioning and managing the servers themselves? Is it providing a consistent software stack between shared and VPS offerings when you transition and upgrade your customers? Is it educating customers on the value of managed VPS versus unmanaged options? Is it perhaps lower profit margins or something else? All right, I think we can close the survey and show the results now. And you should all be seeing the results. It looks like for this group today, the biggest issues are managing security risk and educating customers on the value of managed VPS versus unmanaged options. Thank you, Alison. We can close the results. Oops. There you go. And with that, I'll hand over to Liliana to talk about exactly these challenges, some others, and how to position your VPS offers in high seasons like Black Friday. Liliana, please take it away.
Thank you, Akers, and welcome everyone. My name is Liliana. I'm Growth Marketing Manager at CloudLinux. And if you want, you can move to the first slide, Akers. Yeah. Black Friday is around the corner, and we know that Black Friday and Cyber Monday are two of the biggest moments of the year, especially for the hosting industry, for retail industry, in fact. But we are talking about hosting industry today. Is this time of the year when traffic spikes, everyone is looking pricing, offers, comparing products, and every provider is trying to grab attention with offers and discounts, and let's say that's crazy a little bit. But we know, and we already, and it's interesting to see that you're facing some challenges, because I think and we think that this webinar will be helpful for these specific challenges, and we have some solutions for you, because we know that for VPS and dedicated server providers, this season or high seasons can feel a little bit different, right? Because we know and we usually see a lot of share hosting offers, a lot of web design solution offers, but not a lot of VPS, because you mentioned a lot of challenges in there in terms of margins, in terms of education. So in this season is when we have high traffic, and we have high demand, and of course our competition intensifies a lot, and that gives us some pressure to lower the price just to stay in the game. And in the last, every year, we have seen the same pattern from our partners or even hosting providers. They go really with deep discounts, but at the end, we will see a lot of short-term wins with long-term margin losing there. And of course, once the season or the high season ends, we or the hosting providers ended up with thinner margins or even losing customers. Or trying to retain them with a lot of bundles. So in the next slide, Akos, and what about if we try to talk about in this session, instead of cutting off a lot of pricing and discount the prices a lot, what if we could protect the margins, and what we could protect the offers and the pricing by offering value? And so in this moment, what the focus of this webinar is to learn how to sell more and how to sell smarter, especially in high season like Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So in the next slide, Akos, for us it's important to talk about what we call price war trap. We really need to understand why it's hard to win on discounts alone, especially if we are BPS and dedicated server providers. We have learned with our partners during these years a lot of challenges in there, but these are the main ones. And probably you already are facing these kind of challenges. And no worries, we're going to highlight those some of them, and we will have during this session some solutions that could help us to improve these challenges. So one of them that we want to talk about is the price war trap, let's say pricing projection. We have seen that in terms of pricing and offers, we have seen some providers that discount BPS, for instance, 40%. 50%. We have seen even 70%. That's good. That will generate a lot of signups, a lot of acquisition, and a lot of leads, but that doesn't mean a lot of qualified leads. And this is kind of dangerous or risky for us, well, for you as a providers, for three reasons. Let's say three main reasons. One is because the customers will start seeing this solution, this premium solution, as a commodity. Is saying, like, instead of seeing quality difference, they will start seeing who is the cheapest one this week, and then they will buy the BPS, not just because the value, it's because the pricing. So you're not positioning these quality or these premium solutions as it is, as a premium solutions. So and that will, the second reason is because that will kill your margins. Of course, you will sell more, but you will earn less per sale. And the other thing is that you are not building loyalty here. Once the promo ends or the season ends or the pricing goes up, the customer will maybe say goodbye unless you have a good bundle to do it. But that's another challenge that we will see, and that it will increase the pricing as well. The second challenge that we have seen is the customer knowledge. Some of the hosting providers assume that the BPS and dedicated servers users are technical customers. They have all the knowledge. And we have some theories to have into consideration here. Some of them are coming for shared hosting. Some of them are coming because they just need more resources, or because they need to go with cPanel, so they go to the managed option, or just because, hey, I have an e-commerce, I don't know nothing about this, but I need more speed, so they go to the VPS. So we cannot assume that every client has a technical knowledge in here. So that means that, and for instance, if I go to managed plan, that this is the focusing here, that doesn't mean, and we can assume that they don't have knowledge, they don't have technical knowledge, they just want their website run faster, most of them. Dedicated server could be more technical, but in this case, VPS, we need to assume, and that will require education from the hosting provider, nurturing from the hosting provider, and also follow up from the hosting providers. Different messaging, different approach, different outbound approach. Technical limitations. Upgrades could be tricky. We know that without optimization tools or proper installations, a scaling up resource like CPU or RAM, for instance, can be kind of tricky, and that often requires upgrade the entire plan. Even if the customer just need a boost of one resource, that will require upgrade for the entire plan. And if you already experience that, a client that say, hey, you already approach them and say like, you need to upgrade, you might have some complaints in there from the customer. So you know what I'm talking about when I'm saying this. The other challenge, add-ons, could add friction in here. Usually we have seen that hosting providers offer malware solutions, protection solutions, backup solutions as an add-on. That's perfect. That will generate revenue for you. But it's not sustainable long term, because once the term ended up, for instance, for the solution, for the protection solution, they will say, I don't need it anymore. I already try it. I will keep my VPS plan. So we need to figure out, instead of just bundle the plans, what about if we add value in the plans? So we need to think about the mindset of the customer in here. It's not the same to say, upgrade to VPS and get 30% off in your backup plan or solution, than in say, upgrade to VPS with $500 value included, or security value included in there. For them, it is important to know, if this is more expensive, where I'm spending the money. So that's the other thing, that we need to guarantee that it's a whole experience, not just adding add-ons, expensive add-ons. And the last one, margins could be squeezed. Software costs could be high, and that will be difficult, and so the profit will be difficult to get, and also it's difficult to keep competitive in the market. So this, having said that, I think that in the next slide, the good news is that there's a way to compete, and not just on pricing, but give value, give performance and simplicity for the client. And the takeaway of this session is not that we don't want to keep this just for Black Friday. This is a matter of to sell solutions, premium solutions such as VPS and dedicated server, but with value. So in the next slide, we want to talk and take a step back and talk about what the VPS buyers actually want, what the customer actually want. We know now what are the challenges for the VPS providers, but in terms of the customers, what they really want, we know that probably they don't have technical knowledge. But we know in these years, working with end customers as well, we know that they want speed, they want security, they want stability and scalability. We can have a lot of numbers and a lot of RAM and CPU, but at the end, this is the main thing that they are looking for. They want their websites to load fast, even in high seasons or traffic spikes like Black Friday. They want uptime. They don't want interruption during busy periods. They want protection from malware or even from downtown issues that could cost money for them, because they are earning money as you, for instance. And they want scalability. They want upgrades, no friction. They want easy upgrades, an easy upgrade path. But most important, they want an updated and modern platform that can allow these specific benefits for them. And this is important. The reality is when everyone competes on price, you stop competing on value. But we are not saying in here that you cannot discount your VPS or dedicated servers plans. You can. In fact, you should to be competitive at some point. But the learning in here is that you need to find a way or a balance to have a decrease the software costs and also giving value to the customer and giving the messaging that they are expecting. Many clients are willing to pay a little bit more if they know that what they are paying and if they know that their VPS plans could deliver peace of mind. Again, that's a summary. They want peace of mind, especially if they have managed plans. And because at the end of the day, $2 cheaper doesn't matter if your website runs slower and is less secure. So that's where we see the opportunity in here to, instead of just lowering the price, increase the value of your plans. And that's why we have in the other slide how we can positioning these solutions beyond the price. We want to guarantee that our partners can communicate the value across the channels. When you sell performance and protection, not just specifics, you protect your margin and you're attracting customers that are willing to pay more for value. So these are some, in order to shift the pricing-based messaging to value-based selling mindset, we have learned these things that we are talking about that have worked for our partners. First, lead with outcomes, not specifics. For instance, it's not the same to say 2 gigabytes of RAM that consistent performance even under traffic spikes. I'm not saying that you can use that for every product's cars, but across the channels of your communication channels, you can use that. And for instance, highlight built-in security and speed. This is important. We know that VPS plans and dedicated server already offer security and better performance. But if you are using that as a messaging, that could generate a lot of value in there. And if you're using feed solutions like CloudLinux or Immunify 360, that's even more important to say. What are the benefits to have CloudLinux in this plan? Stability, performance isolation, Immunify 360, automated protection. There are value drivers in there and they are part of the experience. They're not just add-ons. And this is important because we have seen Immunify 360 in some shared hosting plans. And the customer, maybe the end customer doesn't know what is Immunify 360. So that's important. Other thing is show how the VPS makes the life easier. Talk about reduced downtime. Talk about fewer tickets. Talk about less manual maintenance. Talk about these kind of things that is not just for the technical people, but also for the business owners. Use for instance, visuals that can attract labels. And most important, use this mindset across all the communication channels, the website, emails, outbound cold emails. And also apply SEO strategy. If you are not aware what is SEO, familiar with SEO, in a simple words, it's a way to use keywords that the people is looking around the network, and use these keywords across all the communication channels, so that even website, mainly the website, to position our website in an organic way in the search engine like Google. So it's important that if we are saying consistent performance even on the traffic spikes, maybe spikes and traffic is not a high keyword that people are looking, maybe is a visits, I don't know, like you need to be you really need to be familiar with the keywords so you can use the main things that people is looking to position your website in here. Then in the other slide, we have the don'ts. What we need to avoid and what we want to avoid. Don't lead with discounts. We know, we already said, it's not that you don't need to discount, but if you discount and use just the discount for VPS or dedicated servers, for instance, you're positioning VPS as a commodity and it starts a pricing racing here, and we don't want that. Don't hide the value in the fine print. If you have security, if you have speed, put it up front, put it in your price cards, put it in your product cards, in your website, in your front page. Don't oversell with technical wording. We already say, but VPS buyers are looking for outcomes. So my sites run faster. My website is safer. They don't they don't care in a good way about the kernel, for instance, versions or process limits or resource limitations. Give me solutions in there. And don't treat performance and security as optional. Don't treat that, treat it as a built-in solution, not as an expensive add-ons in here. And with that, in the other slide, I can give you an example, a quick example, like to positioning this VPS beyond the price. And this is an example just for the website, but as I said, this should be across the channels. So for instance, the basic plan in the my left side, let's say in the front of the computer, we have 2 GB RAM, CPU, bandwidth, and most of the custom providers usually put see more. Optionally, hence security add-ons, see more, or they have backup, see more. And when they click, they lose the experience of the customers and they use a lot of technicalities in there. So instead of that, we encourage you to use the right table. You using performance and protection as a highlight in there. You're using, in this case, if you have another features, as we said, like CloudLinux, what is the benefit of having CloudLinux and that in this plan? And what is the benefit of having Immunify 360 in that plan? And most important, we are giving the value per year. So this is always important. I mean, I could spend more money. As I said, I could spend $2 more, but give me the reason that why I need to pay for $2 more in a simple way. You have stability, you have faster page load times, you will be protected against all common attack types. This is important. And we don't know you, and if you see in here in the 360 card, we are not saying you will have these specific technical things. We are keeping simple. You will be defense against all common attack types. And these are the things that we want to encourage to you to position a VPS. And luckily, in this session, we have a solution first to face the challenges that you have as a hosting providers, and second, give what our customers or your end customer wants with our solution and our program that we're gonna explain. So right now, I'm pass the word to my colleague Akers, so he will explain more of the benefits of this.
Thank you, Liliana. Very useful tips indeed. What I'm going to cover next is exactly as Liliana said, how we can help you hosting providers specifically with our VPS bundle. First off, what is the CloudLinux VPS bundle, right? It's an exclusive partner-only offer that we created for VPS and dedicated server providers. And its goal is to help you deliver fast and secure servers efficiently, all the while improving your margins. To help you with speed and server stability, we have included CloudLinux OS in the VPS bundle, and this is our purpose-built operating system for web hosting. And to help you with security, we've included Immunify 360, which is our automated multi-layer security solution for Linux web servers. And finally, to help you improve your margins, we are offering our bundled plans with up to 55% off standard pricing. That is, if you were to buy CloudLinux OS and Immunify 360 separately. So there is a big savings element there to make things work economically on VPS, and I'll talk more about that later. But first, I know some of you already use CloudLinux OS on your shared servers because we asked this on the registration form. And some of you already use Immunify 360 to protect your servers and customers. Let's get everyone on the same page on what these products are, what they do, and what are the benefits for the VPS and dedicated server use cases. Starting off with CloudLinux OS. As I said, it's our operating system purpose-built for web hosting. And there are really two groups of benefits to highlight here. The first one is the continuity from shared to VPS. And what I mean here is that you can have and you can offer to your customers the same software stack on both your shared hosting and VPS plans. This makes it easier for you as a hoster to provision and manage your servers, to train your staff, and to run support for your customers. All the while, you can provide the same feature sets to your customers that they already got used to on your shared plans. And obviously, they would expect to have the same features on higher cost VPS plans. So some example features here that they could got used to are the selectors, where they can pick the correct and necessary PHP versions for their sites, and hardened PHP, which we provide to protect older versions of PHP that are no longer part of the security update cycle. Plus, another interesting use case here to highlight are agencies and developers, because they are the ones who typically run multiple sites for multiple of their customers on VPS and dedicated servers. So for them, the same isolation and resource management technology that you use to segment off tenants on shared servers with CloudLinux OS, those same features are equally as useful to isolate agency customers and developer customers on their VPS servers. The two features we have for this are LVE, which stands for Lightweight Virtual Environment, and KHFS. And what these two do together is basically isolate hosting accounts from each other entirely and allow the server admins to set resource limits per account. And this will naturally increase the overall server stability because nobody can overuse resources, and it increases security because tenants and accounts are separated from each other. The other group of benefits to mention is performance and speed, because over the years, we've been adding more and more capabilities in this area to help customers on the one end, continuously monitor their website performance and figure out exactly where the bottleneck is. If a site appears slow, we have a tool called PHP X-Ray for this, which is really, really good troubleshooting tool. And it can help you determine and decide, is it a database issue? Is it something to do with a plugin? Is it some customization? And that way it will help you fix it much more easily and much more quickly. Plus, we are also offering intelligent and proactive speed optimization with Accelerate WordPress. And because we do all of these things and we deliver all of these tools deeply integrated into CloudLinux OS, we can do these performance monitoring, troubleshooting, and optimization much better than if a customer is trying to do the same from, say, within WordPress in the form of plugins. This performance and speed area is very important for us. We put a lot of effort into it, so expect more and more things to come here over the course of the next couple of months and years. Now, moving on to Immunify 360, which is, as I said, our automated multi-layered security platform for Linux web servers. Here, we are delivering the core value of protection in the form of 6 integrated security layers. So, obvious question is, what are these layers? It all starts with the network firewall at the outermost perimeter. And here, our unique advantage over and above every other security solution is that we have more than 62 million domains in our defense network that we protect and where we collect threat data from. What this means in plain terms is we can, whenever we see an offending IP on any one of those domains, we can immediately protect all Immunify customers against it. And this is a huge difference and it's a huge advantage compared to a host or a business who's running an in-house firewall setup and they can only see to what's happening to their fleet of servers. And while network firewalls are essential to manage and block IPs, they cannot protect against the attacks that directly target applications like WordPress and its plugin ecosystem, because for those types of attacks, we need a web application firewall, and we do have it in Immunify 360. Here, the same network effect applies because we see a lot more attack and we see a lot more interaction in our threat network, defense network. We can build a really, really good and powerful WAF. Then there's one more layer that deals with security and web traffic, and it's a unique Web Shield technology, which helps with filtering and blocking all the bots and scrapers and mitigate DOS attacks as much as possible on a single server. To give you a clear idea what this is, I'm sure you have all seen those capture pages where you have to select all the motorcycles or the traffic lights or turn the object into the right position. Those have a similar purpose. Our Web Shield is like that, but much better because we do it in a way where we don't annoy the hell out of website visitors. And that's why we call and label our technology as like an invisible JavaScript challenge. The website visitor does not have to take any action when we protect websites with Web Shield. Next, moving on to deeper layers on the server, We have a powerful malware scanner that can scan files, databases, and even cron tabs. And we put a lot of effort and focus on this because we want to make sure that if and whenever an attacker finds a way in, they cannot hide anywhere. We completely eradicate them from the server, restore the files back and websites back to their original state, and business goes on as usual. And while malware scanners are excellent against known malware because they work with things called signatures, they are blind to zero-day threats. So that's why we built our signature proactive defense security layer. This is completely unique to Immunify 360. You cannot find this in anything else. And what it does is it analyzes the running PHP code as it's being executed on your server, and it figures out based on what the code is trying to do, whether this is okay, this is normal behavior for a web server, and then it lets the code run, or if it's a completely new type of malware or malicious activity, and then it can instantly block it before that code could do any harm. Finally, the last layer here is a foundational server protection element, our intrusion prevention system. And what this does is it continuously monitors all server logs across all services, including things like SSH and FTP. And for example, if it sees that somebody is trying to brute force their way into an FTP account by guessing the password, then this is the layer that blocks those attempts. So we provide all this security. You might be thinking, it must be hell of a job to manage all these layers, right? Well, not really, because our approach to security is to automate and offload all that work from you and have our security team of experts deal with it. What are some of the things that we automate and how do we do that? First off, zero-day protection. When proactive defense is running in a so-called kill mode, it does not require any human intervention. Whenever it finds new threats, it automatically blocks them. Same for malware scanning and cleanup. Fully automated. When malware is found, we can restore the sites and the accounts back to the original state, delete the malicious lines of codes, and sites run just as before. Then I mentioned our threat intelligence coming from the 62 million domains in our network. Our team of experts turn that data into constantly updated firewall rules and malware signatures so you don't have to do anything. We keep all the layers updated all the time, continuously. Of course, you have the ability to add custom firewall rules depending on what you need, allow or deny in your environment. But the point is that the built-in rule set coming right out of the box already provides comprehensive protection, and we keep it updated all the time. Finally, this last one is a really clever one that I like to mention because it demonstrates how we can make smart responses when we have multiple layers integrated. So let's say our system detects that a user logged in and soon after malware is found. In these cases, Immunify 360 not only removes the malware, but it's intelligent enough to figure out that, okay, the most likely reason for that malware was that the user credentials were compromised. And in such cases, it can force a reset on the WordPress password and force a reset on the cPanel password for that specific user. And with that, it would break a very, very obvious reinfection cycle that if we just remove the malware, the hacker could log in again using the password that they got and reinfect the machine over and over again. All right, that's about Immunify 360. So now that we have a shared understanding of the products that are in the VPS bundle and what value they add and what value they deliver, how is this bundle going to help you increase your margins? Let's take an example managed VPS plan for this, say at $50 per month price. In that $50, you'll have some built-in costs for performance and some built-in costs for security. Either because you use one or more commercial solutions, and that's a direct license cost, it's an obvious cost to you, or because you might do some of these in-house or deal with it in-house with open source or free tools or do your own solutions. And then in those cases, it's your team's time that's spent on managing server stability, server speed, and security. And as such, it's going to be a more indirect cost. But at the end of the day, it's going to be a cost tied to you offering this plan to your customers. Then, of course, you have some other costs related to hardware, other software licenses, marketing, and so on. But those are not in the scope of our bundle, so I grouped all of those other costs. Whatever you're left with after taking into account all the costs is your margin for this example plan. And this is the case without the VPS bundle. Now, our proposition and how we define the pricing for the CloudLinux VPS bundle is that if you adopt our bundle for your VPS servers, then your costs related to security and performance and server stability will be less than without it. So all other costs being equal, on a server with the CloudLinux VPS bundle, you'll be left with more margin at the end of the day. And this will allow you to run seasonal promotions like Black Friday and still keep a profit, or under normal conditions and standard prices, take home more profit from every VPS sale. As for how the exact dollars work out is unique to all of you, depending on your VPS plans, your stack, how you operate. But I'm sure that our sales team is more than happy to help you work out how much you would be saving with the VPS bundle, of course, on top of getting and passing all the value from it to your end customers. We have multiple license tiers for the VPS bundle, so if you're interested, really the best thing and the best next step is talk to our sales team and they'll take good care of you. But enough of me speaking, and let's see live how our products work in action. So with that, I'll stop sharing and Strawn, please take it away.
All right, thank you very much, Akos. I'm sure some of you will see my screen now. I'll start off just with a quick walkthrough of Immunify 360. Some of you guys have already used the product, some of you might be new to you. On the admin page, you'll actually get a full overview of your server, tell you in a nutshell, is your server in a good condition or not? If it's not, we'll tell you what's wrong and what you can do about it. Full overview of whatever's happened on your server in a certain time frame, how many alerts, how many detected malware, how much malware was cleaned, splash screen events, and how many web application firewall alerts were actually triggered. Gives you a nice little graph here, a heat map, which can show you where it actually came from, and just malware, clean malware, all of these different events that are happening on the server here, all in one nice clean dashboard. What's also nice, if you have multiple servers, you can add them all into one place and you can view them all from a single dashboard. Next is the IPS part. This is what actually shows you all the incidents and events that have been happening on your server. It gives you a quick overview, what it is, where it came from, the severity of the level. And if you see something here you don't like, you can manually go add it to the firewall or whitelist it if you know it's something that's safe. The actual firewall. Here you'll have all the automatic rules that our protection has picked up and says, okay, I'm blacklisting all these IPs. It's the reason why I'm blacklisting it. And the amount of time is to be blocked for. Here, you can also add manual rules here if you'd like to change it, whitelist the IPs, or if you need to, you can even block a whole country. I have blocked North Korea and Russia, just as examples here, but you can block multiple depending where you operate it. The malware scanner, one of the hearts of it, we have three different levels of scanning with Immunify. There's a real-time scanner. As the file's uploaded, it gets automatically scanned. If it's malicious, it gets cleaned automatically. We have the scheduled scanner where you said, okay, once a day, once a month, once every 2 weeks, when to scan all your sites or files on the server. And you have the manual scanner where you can choose, I want an on-demand scanner now, and it'll scan everything there. We also allow you to adjust the amount of resources Immunify uses for these scans. More resources, quicker scans, less resources, a lighter impact on the server, but the scans take a little bit longer. But that is all customized based on your use cases there. As Akos mentioned, has proactive defense. By default, we always have it in kill mode. So anything suspicious happens on your PHP scripts, it's going to kill it automatically. What is also nice here, sometimes you have custom scripts on your server, which may seem to be malicious, but actually is not. You can whitelist those and they can be ignored. We also have reputation management. Monitors all the reputation sites. So if your server's IP is listed here in one of the sites, it's listed here and the reason why, and you can take action to rectify it. As a bonus, all Immunify licenses come with a free license of kernel care. Nice piece of software that allows you to update your kernel to the latest running version without the need to reboot your server. So more uptime, more security, and click carry on as normal. Just wait for this to fetch here. So, example, I rebooted the server over a month ago, and I'm running the latest version of the kernel, which is 570.51. But the last time I rebooted the server, it was on 4.6. So it's already updated by kernel without even actually reboot my server. I'll now go to CloudLinux. Once again, some of you guys make use of the software, some of you do not. But I'll just go through the quick features in CloudLinux. We have a whole bunch of these quality of life features here, multiple versions of Node.js, multiple versions of Ruby, PHP, and Python. They're all backported and patched. They're all running the latest security we can apply to them. So if you have a customer that has to run on PHP 5.4, he can run on 5.4. It has been patched. It is the most secure version. KHFS, one of the security features of here, which isolates each actual website to its own virtual environment. It cannot see anything else on the server, not even the system files. So in the event something does happen, it cannot cause damage to the rest of the server. We have our API module here between the web server and the actual different versions of PHP. This is for fair resource usage and high performance. We also have MySQL Governor. This is for the guys that are running web-based, database-based websites. This helps with badly written queries or long queries. It makes it so that the websites cannot hog the SQL server. So everyone gets free usage to it. Everyone gets better performance and better response. As Arcos said, you'll get website monitoring, which will actually give you what website's going on, requests, how many have errors, what's the average response time. You can dive in and see what's going on with the websites there. PHP X-Ray, if you want to find out, okay, go even more in depth on what's going on with the websites, you can send a task here to run it. I'll show an example right here. I had this task run here. Take a look here. I had one throttle request. Okay, I'll see there's my request. That's the one that was giving an error there. It took 9 seconds, and this is the reason why. There was actual issues in the WordPress code, specifically the plugin, and I can go and figure out if there's an update for the plugin or use a different plugin to improve the website's performance. Now, we also have smart advice. This works in conjunction with the website monitoring and PHP X-Ray, where the OS will actually recommend some changes to do. So if you enable this feature here, maybe enable Redis object caching, will make these websites run even better. This will give you some suggestions, and it's a one-click apply. Apply the solution, it will apply it for you. There we go. Accelerate WordPress. This is a bit more advanced features. Some of them are free, some of them are paid extras, but you can play with that with your actual package or your product you just set up. We also provide a free CDNN with the premium features, 1 gigabyte free for everyone that uses it. But then you can also go and pre-purchase CDN bandwidth, which you can also add to your package. And that's on a pre-purchase basis. So you buy a terabyte of CDN data, you can sell it to these products, and you can have it as an extra to your customers if they'd like it. If you guys have any questions or anything specific, please put in the Q&A. This is the end of my demo right now, and we'll take some questions now.
Yep, thank you, Strand. And with that, we'll be jumping into the QA section. I'll bring it back on the screen. So it's now QA time. Please, everyone, use the QA box or the QA button in your Zoom control bar to type and submit your questions, and we'll be here to answer all of them. So the first one is a really common one. Can the VPS bundle used for both managed and unmanaged plans? And the answer really is yes, right? We don't have any restrictions on that. VPS bundles come as pre-installed images, and you can add and integrate it with managed and unmanaged as well. Are there any requirements to join the VPS bundle program? Liliana, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, in this case, they just need the better recommendation that we have for this is that you can approach the sales team. They need to create you need to create a CLN account and so on. But I think that in this case, it's better to approach the sales to, of course, join into this journey. Also, we will give us some requirements instead of some recommendation to put in your website, change the product cards, the pricing, some marketing assets, and so on. So we will join you through this journey from end to end. And it's an easy process. And yeah, this is the only requirement. Create a SELN account. If Truan, you can join me here. And the rest is more marketing stuffs, pricing, product cards. And once it's ready, we will be ready to launch.
Our side is once you've met the requirements, it's a couple of minutes on our side to enable the actual discounted pricing for you. So the actual speed of this is the quicker you meet the requirements, which are not very many, the quicker you can get the actual discounted pricing.
And this is important to say as well. After this session, we will share with you, of course, the recording of this webinar and also the step by step of what is going to be this journey for you, and and all the materials that you might need in order to prepare all the website and assets for you and all the communication channels. So you can wait for this material maybe tomorrow and for the attendance of this webinar. So yeah, you will have more information about that as well.
And one more thing to add there, because we have many customers and hosters already using the VPS bundle, from the experience with getting started with them, we see some of them going live in a matter of a couple of days. So really, if you're still planning what you want to do for Black Friday, it's in the realm of possibility to add it to your platform. On our end, it's going to be really, really quick, and you can be up and running with it by Black Friday. So next question, what are the volume requirements for discount/reseller pricing? Very good news on that. No minimum requirements. So really you just buy the licenses that you need whenever you need them. You can roll this out for your new customers, and as they start buying the plans, you add more and more VPS bundle licenses. So we are very flexible there.
All right, I'll take the one there regarding the actual requiring a cPanel license. No, you do not.
Yes.
CloudLinux and Immunify are control panel independent. You can run any control panel you like or without a control panel. All the features are available by command line, so you do not need a control panel to use both software.
Yes, and just to be clear and have this also on the recording, the full question was, with the VPS bundle, do I still need a cPanel license or install? Can I manage everything with CloudLinux? So that's answered. So is this pricing the same as partners pricing, or is this different? This is special pricing for the VPS bundle. So you need to be part of the partner program to be eligible for this, and really just a couple of requirements to add CloudLinux OS and Immunify 360 to your product, cards, offer it at least in one VPS plan of yours, and join us as a partner, and then you get access to this pricing.
All right, I see David has asked the question, is root considered a user in the license? No, we do not count root as one of the users. I can go very technical for it, but the bottom line is any UID over 1,000 is actually what we start counting as users.
And if you go, because I know like this comes up often and often, what is a user? So if you go to the Immunify website on the pricing page, we have now a very detailed FAQ on how a user is defined. If you're using no panel, if you're using cPanel, if you're using Plask, if you're using direct admin. So go check that out. Okay. Any other questions? We'll give about 1 more minute. So last chance to get your questions in.
I think that just we have the question in here, and we already answered part of that, but it's important, like how long does it takes to go from acquiring the bundle to having it live on my website for end customers? We just said like we don't have a lot of requirements in there. The faster you can and then create account and put all the materials and the website ready with the discount, and you do the pricing projection, because that's the thing. We join this in this process with you. We recommend, but you at the end you set out the pricing and so on. So the faster you put everything in order, and we will in fact give you a set of assets. This is important: a set of assets of social templates, blog templates, email templates that you can use, and a recommendation for your website, so you can speed up a little bit this process. And so it will be more on your side to put all the things done and create a communication and marketing, than the requirements from our side. So yeah, again, we will share with you some assets that can make the life easier and faster to put all the materials together and launch these plans in your website.
And a couple more technical came in for you, Strand. So one of them is about control panels. So do we need some control panel if we want the UI to manage the sites?
All right. So Immunify actually has its own standalone control panel that you'll just configure on your web server. So you will still get a UI for Immunify and all the features of Immunify. CloudLinux itself, all the features are actually run from the command line, even through the UI. The actual command line gives you way more detailed configuration. You can be more granular with your configurations. So CloudLinux itself does not have a UI, but Immunify does have a standalone UI.
Thank you. That clears it up. And the other one is, if not using a control panel, are users tied to the underlying Unix user system?
So that is actually correct. That is where we actually start looking at the UI and GI of the actual user on the system. We have very well documented where we start counting from. In most cases, people that are using a standalone system without a control panel usually get away with the single user license, because your web host is running under a single user. So depending on your configuration, we just take a look at the amount of users you have, and you'll probably get away with the cheapest licenses there.
Awesome. Okay. Any other questions? Give it a couple more seconds. And in the meantime, I'll bring it up on the screen that if you're interested in our VPS bundle program, you can either grab the QR code of the screen now, or you can go to cloudlinux.com/VPS-Black Friday, or drop an email to our sales team at sales@cloudlinux.com, and they'll help you get started. And I see that there are no more questions, so thank you everyone for joining and being with us today. And have a great rest of the day for all of you.
Thank you. We are punctual today.
Thank
We
you.
give
Thank you.
about 7 minutes. Thank you so much. Have a good one. Bye.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
everyone.